Process. Here comes Coppa. Coppa dribbling to the center. Coppa! Haley dribbles her way through the player. Now serves across towards the far post. Arriving Cailin! Goal! Manaliliua at the edge of the 18. Touches it onto her right. Fires! What a save by Katie McLaughlin!
Hey, will anyone get there for DVC? It's Yasmin firing! Turns, Plancarte! What a save by Megan Elms!
Tied by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noel drills the keeper. Levis! And that is a DVC victory! Welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White. I'm Joe Hickey, the radio voice of DVC Athletics, and this is Vikings Soccer Rewind, a little trip down memory lane to help us pass a long fall season without DVC sports. The plan throughout is to pick matches that line up as well as possible with a this day in Vikings history sort of theme. So although we'll be jumping back and forth between the three seasons, we'll be trekking in a rather orderly fashion through the process of a season. First the non-conference schedule, then Big 8 play, and eventually the playoffs. Now last time we looked back at opening day of the 2014 season, a road game at De Anza that the Vikings won 5-0. Today we've got the 2015 team's home opener against Las Positas College. Now after making the postseason in 2014 but bowing out to 1-seed Fresno in the first round, the 2015 squad returned 14 players from the prior edition of the Green and White, including 5 of the starters, 5 of the substitutes, and the camera operator from the game that we watched last week. Now that camera operator was at that time injured defender Megan Coppa, who soon after that game installed herself as a leader on the 2014 team, and was chosen as a captain to start 2015. She was also moved to a new position, as Coach Mullins looked to exploit her speed and passing on the right wing of the attack instead of the left side of the defense. It looked ready to pay off for most of the 2015 Vikings opener on the road at Lake Tahoe, but despite putting 13 shots on goal to the Coyotes' 2, the Vikings lost 1-0 that day. They struck the woodwork 4 times in that match, leaving me out of breath for reasons that had nothing to do with the altitude. Not to mention, the off-season is 9 months long, even without a pandemic mucking up the works. I was jonesing for a chance to let rip with a goal celebration. All of which brings us to today's match in the Wayback Machine, where one more returning Viking, 2014 defensive MVP Megan Elms, joined me on the radio call as my color commentator. We'll catch up with her and Coppa at halftime today, but for now let's send it to the field for DVC Las Positas, September 3rd, 2015, live via tape delay here on Vikings Soccer Rewind. So Sammy, we're going to talk about a little bit here. She's been elevated to the role of captain. Tell us a little bit, Megan, about just apprenticing her and working with her last season.
I really liked working with Sammy. At the beginning, it was she was very quiet to herself, and as many know, I'm very outgoing and sometimes obnoxious. So we broke out of her shell a little bit, and I absolutely adore Sammy now, and she's a hard worker, always getting better, and it's always a good challenge when you have a great keeper working beside you, making you work harder in practice.
And as we hear, as Megan tells us a little bit about Sammy, we are off and running. The ball in possession at the moment of Las Positas after DVC's kickoff. Stolen, though, immediately by Daisy Lozano. Put into space in the center for Sagir. A little bit long for her. It's going to be run on to by the number 6, Carlton, playing in the center of the defense. We'll try to give you a sense of exactly where people are located as this game gets going. It is indeed Alani up top with Morales, it appears. So... and actually out wide at the right sideline, I do believe that is the number 8 man. So it looks like as the Vikings have earned a free kick here on an immediate foul here by LPC. But though it does seem to be a trident attack up front, Alani on this near sideline, Morales actually central, and Man over on the right. Man, actually, in her first game against Mendocino, had herself a pair of goals alongside 2 from Umadon, a 4-0 win over a team that was last season's 7th seed. Good interplay going on, though, right now for DVC. Yasmin Jaime trying to touch it around the number 22. Ball in front of goal. Oh, my goodness. Finally cleared out from near the 6-yard box. That'll teach me to look down at my roster. I very nearly missed the first goal of the season. Who cares who number 22 is? Narrate the action, weirdo. Mazleski spraying out to the right side for Megan Coppa. Will it sit for her? It will, and she kicks this one forward, looking for Yasmin Jaime. Will be cleared out there by one of the Las Positas players. Only as far as Weinstein at the center line, taken now by Yasmin Jaime on the right. She tries to feed Coppa down the right wing, and let's see if this ball stops for her. Not quite. Lends up out the back line again. We saw a lot of that against Lake Tahoe. Much bigger problem, perhaps, because of the AstroTurf field. We're playing this one on grass instead of at the stadium, which frequently has been how we've done home openers in the past. Megan, what changes about your approach when you're dealing with AstroTurf as opposed to the natural grass surface?
You know you're going to be playing a lot faster. The ball's rolling so much faster, especially as a goalkeeper. It's amazing the difference the grass and turf makes. The great part about turf, though, is you're not going to have any unexpected bounces. You know what to expect. There's not going to be potholes, but it definitely makes the game a lot faster. You get tired easier.
Certainly does help getting those true bounces. We were even taking a look at the field and had to do a little bit of surgery. I had Annie Moore out here taking care of a sprinkler head that was a little bit exposed. So thanks to Coach Paul Sapsford for finding that and letting us know ahead of time. Don't want anybody getting hurt out here due to something like that. Ball sits in possession here in the 3rd minute, briefly, of DVC. Now taken away by Las Positas, trying to work their way through the midfield. It's the number 2, Cailin. Hits the deck underneath the challenge of Hannah Mazleski. Drop back by Coppa now for Weinstein. Back over to the right side now for Coppa. Drop back for Callaway, and the Vikings are going to look for a little bit of space here. All the way back to Hebbing, and look out, her ball is a bit loose, taken away by Mann for a second, but Dargan, her opposing number 8, able to get onto that initial touch, take it away. Worked forward now for Daisy, the somewhat surprise starter, as we said, the only novelty in the lineup. The other 10 starters repeated exactly as we saw against Tahoe. Taken away by LPC right now, the number 24, that is Loyola, putting a ball down the left side towards the edge of the box. That is going to be cleared here by Weinstein, out for a throw-in for Las Positas. That's Jamalani over here, product of Heritage out of Brentwood. We're going to see a throw-in coming from Loyola. 4 Hawks in the box. That throw-in heading towards the top left corner of the 6, headed by Alani. We'll call that a shot, but certainly not one on frame, as it goes harmlessly to the left of Sammy Hebbing's goal. Now, last year, that Jamalani was one of only 4 returning sophomores for this team, and she actually had the assist on that goal. Tell us a little bit, Megan, about that particular game. It was, I imagine, one of the more frustrating ones last season.
Definitely more frustrating. I just remember getting shot after shot after shot, and I can't remember the score, but I remember their goal right after the second half started, and immediately we all dropped down a little bit and a little frustrated.
Trying to jump up here is Julia Curry.
Nice.
She takes a rip for the top left corner and very nearly hits the target and brings a moment of joy for us early in the first half. Just barely missed, but she had the space. JC certainly trying to show some intent. A little bit of an up and down performance for her last week. Had some real moments of brilliance where you could see how bad she really wanted it and going back, chasing after ball after ball after ball, but also had a couple of lulls in there. DVC trying to make a little something happen on the left wing. Sagir cross looking for Curran, takes a touch. It's going to come as far as Coppa. She knocks this back now for Weinstein. Trying to control in front of the on-rushing offensive line. Plays it off the chest of a Las Positas player. It's now taken away and taking off to the races, I believe, is Umadan. Trying to go down the right wing for Haley Mann. Might be a little long for her. She does not manage to chase it down before it goes out of play. Dargan in hot pursuit as well. Wouldn't have been able to do a whole lot with it. Out for a Viking throw on the far sideline here in minute number 6. So Las Positas, a team that just barely did miss the playoffs last year, although just barely is an interesting way of putting it. We'll explain that in a second. Alani has absorbed a foul, kicked in the foot apparently by Dom Callaway. It's going to be about 25 yards or so from goal, maybe more like 20. Alani came up a little fearful to put weight on it immediately after that. So the wall getting into place. Sammy making her indications. Megan, what is she trying to accomplish here with this wall? I got 4 of them in there.
You're hoping with your wall you want to cover that near post shot. You cover far, and hopefully they kick it right into the wall. It makes it a lot easier for you. And if they get that far post shot, you're there. You're ready for it.
A little division of labor at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Divide and conquer, 3 in the wall for DVC. Here comes the free kick. Loyola skies that one, and it's going to go out the back easily for a DVC goal kick. So 2 shots to 1 so far, 2 fouls to, or excuse me, 1-1 on the foul count, and yet to see a shot on goal at this point. But, you know, the day is young. Only 7 minutes in. So we're saying this Las Positas team missed out on the playoffs last year as the 17th placed team. Theoretically, that sounds like they just did miss. It's a 16-team field, but it is worth noting that on power points, they were further behind DVC than DVC was behind the 10th seed Tahoe. So, ooh, nice ball coming for Coppa. She tries with 1 touch to feed Seguir. It's deflected away. Coppa's going to get to it, though, working her way around the number 6 Carlton. Still Coppa. Dances it onto her left, now crosses, takes a deflection, and will be cleared away here back up the near sideline. It'll go out after the Las Positas clearance near midfield for a Viking throw. Weinstein over to get one of the pile of balls sitting over by that flag. She goes for the throw towards Haley Seguir, bypassing a few other options. Alani comes up, and she's getting beaten up as Seguir more or less goes through her. No foul that time. Long, direct central ball by Las Positas is going to be easy prey for Sammy Hebbing. Dom Calloway shepherds that all the way to her fellow captain and number 0. In control of the Viking defense now, Andrea Weinstein working her way towards the midfield stripe, plays it down the right. Maybe caught Coppa in 2 minds there. Umadon now in control after it was taken away by Carlton. Looks like Carlton is playing here in the right back position. Heel and Sousa in the center, and that would leave Dingman as the right back. In this 4-3-3 run by the first-year English coach Paul Sapsford, replacing the Brazilian Cici do Amor, who was in charge of this squad last year. Ball played down the left wing, looking for Curran. Taken care of, though, there by Dingman. All the way back to the goalkeeper, Nunez. Ball worked about in the middle, taken care of now by Yasmin Jaime after a couple of touches, now taken away again by Jessica Morales, who seems to have no problem drifting between the 2 lines. DVC trying to latch onto it, taken over, though, by the Hawk defense. Worked centrally now for the number 24, Loyola. She tries to go direct again, chested down by Weinstein, but right into the path of Morales. Here comes Jessica Morales. She's got man on the right side trying to feed her way too long, and that will again go out the side. So a deep throw-in for the Vikings. It'll be Dej Dargan to take that. So only 4 returners for LPC, but they've already gotten off to a very hot start. We mentioned the 4-0 victory over Mendocino. Also 2-1 the loss to Cerritos College, the 3-time defending state champions. Certainly something that puts a little bit of fear in you as a fresh adversary, but you're hoping that maybe the drop-off from thinking you've got them locked up might do something. We saw a lot of games like that for DVC where a close loss would almost linger for a couple of games last year. How do you get your head right after something like that?
It's hard. Part of the game, though.
So what exactly was that there? Did Cailin kind of end up hoofing that out of play by mistake?
I think so.
Okay. So Vikings trying to work out of their defensive third. A little bit of a mishit. But the throw is headed forward with authority by Dej Dargan. Lozano was on it for a second, couldn't quite sneak it under the feet of a LPC player, and here comes Loyola again, working her way through the midfield. Dribbles her way through Cunningham. Here's the ball forward now, looking for Morales. Drops back, trying to find Umadon, intercepted by Hannah Masleski. And she'll play this out wide to the left side now for Daisy Lozano. Daisy's got a little bit of space. They want her to run into that space rather than dish it to somebody who doesn't have that sort of space. Nice touch there by JC to work around a player, trying to get around the last line of defense, but up steps Sousa, one of those few returning players for Las Positas. It's pretty much Sousa in the defense, Cuellar and Umadon in the midfield, and Alani up front. DVC, though, in control. It's Daisy Lozano near the byline. Tries to drop this back for a teammate. Going to be picked off, though, there by Umadon. Nobody really quite showing for it to help Daisy once she got herself into that corner. Cailin Cunningham uses the body well, shields off an LPC player, gives it to Calloway. Pressure coming and good discussion. Good communication here for DVC. Here comes Weinstein trying to feed Seguir. Up steps the number 6 Carlton, able to take it away for a moment, but it comes right back to Weinstein. Coppa cuts her run centrally, tries to work this forward for Seguir, cleared by Heel. Taken down ably here by Dom Calloway. Masleski puts it out, 1 touch to Weinstein, 1 touch again to Jaime. Out wide now for Coppa, tries to put it into the center for Jaime to run onto it. Picked off there, though, by Umadon. Tries to get this forward, and looks like a hold called against the DVC player. Coppa there tussling with Umadon and Carlton, so that will be the second DVC foul on the day. First substitute coming in, and it's somebody we haven't seen yet this season. Didn't play last week in Tahoe. Catherine Hafner getting ready to enter at the next opportunity. She'll have to wait, though, until after this free kick. This one, though, in the defensive half of the field. Pop toward midfield. Mazleski contending with Loyola, not able to quite win the header, but she does get enough of a touch to it to get it to Daisy. Good touch to get around one midfielder. Julia Curran trying to work her way past another. Good work there, though, by Cailin to take it away. She seems to be playing in the middle of the defense. Umadon patrolling a little bit more on this side. She and Loyola and Cailin all seem to be more or less floating in the center. Heard a little bit in the season preview about that bit of strategy with a 4-3-3. Trying to work forward on the left wing for a moment there was very far away, I'm not sure. Vikings lose out on the ball. Loyola on it right now. Nice little rollback to avoid the arrival of Curran, and now she sprays it down to the right wing for Jessica Morales. Will she get there before it goes out? Nope. Up comes Mr. Chowdhury's flag, and we will have a throw-in going the Vikings' way. And here comes a few substitutions, and it's not just Kat Hafner. We've got Carla Ramos and Ashley Scannell entering as well. We set a lot of depth on this Viking bench. So off come Coppa, Curran, and Seguir. So certainly suggests that Ramos is actually going to play up top potentially, with both Curran and Seguir coming off. That seems to be exactly where she's now stationed. Like for like switch on the right side for Coppa and Hafner. So Catherine, I thought, was kind of one of the really late bloomer substitutes for DVC. I thought she actually had a pretty decent argument along with Kelsey Catania for most improved player. What did you think of Catherine last year?
Catherine's also one of those players that's quiet, but you got to watch out for her. She's not a very loud player on the field, but you really got to watch out for her. Oh my gosh, Sammy.
So to describe briefly there, Sammy taking a little bit of a tumble inside the 6-yard box. Luckily, Cailin Cunningham taking care of business a good 20 yards away from her.
I don't know how many times I've done that. So many times.
So I have no doubt. I feel like I missed a whole half season worth of your antics by the fact that I spend most of my time facing the action on the other side. Ball into the middle, looking for Alani on the resulting throw-in. That is touched wide of Sammy Hebbing's goal. Debatable whether you could consider that a shot, but either way.
Near the goal.
Yeah, in the vague direction of the goal.
Keeps you on your toes.
So the Vikings trying to keep LPC out of the goal as best they can. It's something that thus far nobody's been able to do. And unlike some of the teams like Tahoe, who returned maybe 3 or 4 goals worth of total scoring, this team at the very least did have one of their leading goal scorers, Maddie Umadon, a 10-goal scorer with 2 assists last season. She is back for them in the center of that defense, along with Alani, who had 2 goals, Cailin and Souza, who had 1 each. DVC trying to build an attack on the right side, and aided by Kat Hafner taking a ball away from Carlton, working her way towards the corner. And Carlton, a nice spin to get that ball away from Kat. Going down the right wing now, looking for looking for Alani. Dom Calloway taking it away, though. Drop back now for Sammy Hebbing. First quarter of an hour in the books, 0-0 our scoreline here at Vikings Field. Sammy's kick from inside our own penalty area drifts a little bit in the wind. We've got a reasonably strong wind blowing straight towards Sammy Hebbing's goal. Ball out for an LPC throw here on the near sideline. Drop back for Hill. Tries to punch this one forward in the direction of Jessica Morales. It reaches the head of Cailin Cunningham instead. Scannell able to get onto it after a touch from Jaime. Ash trying to work the ball through the 24 Loyola in the direction of Lozano. Not quite able to, but Daisy now contending with Loyola and nearly does take that one away. Again, worked up into the direction of the right flank. Lozano finally able to claim. Jaime. Now it's in possession of Lozano. Who did I see over there? Oh, Dargan. And Daisy able to get herself around a defender. Here comes her cross towards the far post. Will Hafner get there before Carlton? Boy, a little bit of lazy defending. For a split second, it looked like DVC was going to have a real opportunity there. Weinstein gets onto the clearance. Scannell not quite able to settle. Cleared away again by Las Positas. And now trying to spin around is Morales, but Jaime and Callaway close her down. Ball forward is knocked down by Weinstein into the three-quarter zone. Hip to hip with Carla Ramos and Cuellar. Ramos not quite able to avoid the onrush. The ball popped up by Alani on the near sideline, but out of play for a Vikings throw. Immediately down that sideline looking for Hafner. Taken away by Alani. Essentially for Cuellar. Up comes Mazleski. Touches it away. It's on the boot now of Carla Ramos. Ramos nearing the top of the 18-yard box. Trying to spin. She's got her back to goal now. 3 defenders on her. They'll spray it out wide to the left side for Lozano. Did that take a deflection? Indeed, it appears to have. The signal by our center referee, Mr. Saman. And it's a Viking throw about 20 yards or thereabouts from the byline. It's going down into the corner for Carla Ramos. Takes a deflection, and we have, I believe, our first corner kick of the day. 1-0 the count on that. Still 2-1 on fouls in favor, quote-unquote, of DVC. 2-1 the shots in favor of LPC, although the Vikings will look to put one in the danger zone right now. Flooding forward, everybody besides Callaway and Cunningham, and, of course, Hebbing. Weinstein and Dargan available for garbage duty. Here comes the ball in from Curran. Looking for some heads. It gets over the first line of defense, but this time is going to go all the way to the right side of the box. It is Daisy chasing it down there, maybe trying to earn herself another corner kick. Goes back-to-back with a defender. She and Hafner working on it. It's out the side, and it will be an LPC throw here as we come to the end of minute number 17. Quick whistle. Do we have substitutions? No, just wants the left back Carlton to take that throw in from a little bit further back. Yasmin, though, great pressure on Carlton and forces a weird error there, and out it goes for a Viking throw on the near sideline. So back in that attacking third. Certainly LPC has attacked with a great deal more aplomb than we saw Tahoe do last time around. Vikings, though, not quite able to get onto that ball. Cleared away. LPC trying to start a counterattack. No dice. Cleared away by DVC. Great ball by Jaime into the path of Ramos. Ramos has it on her left. She fires, but on one hop, it's going to go into the gut of goalkeeper Ali Nunez. So record the first shot on goal of today's game here in minute number 19. Drilled long, a bit of a miss hit by Callaway, but it filters to Dargan off of Nunez's drop kick. Played forward, Scannell, good work to use her body and stave off 2 defenders. Tries to play that down the center for Ramos. Knocked away. Scannell back onto it, tries to thread the needle. Again, not quite able to do so. Back in possession of LPC. Drop back now for Carlton. Showing forward on this near sideline is Alani, but Carlton cuts her dribble into the center and scoots neatly around Yasmin Jaime. Here comes that left back, spraying it down the left side. Too long for anybody to get onto. Alani will let that roll. With about 20 minutes in the books, the Vikings with a goal kick coming up here for Sammy Hebbing. Got another substitute readying herself. It's the number 12, Isela Rodriguez, freshly eligible. And taking the field in a moment with her new number. How about Isela? Saw little bits of her last season. I don't know that she ever quite seemed to get her feet under her in her freshman season.
Isela has good ball control. She knows where she wants to play, and she knows how to control the ball and the pace, and, you know, she's really good. Is she playing in the middle?
So I imagine that's where we're going to see her. Ooh, nice little touch by Carla Ramos after she was fed by Jaime. Nearly got herself around somebody. Kat Hafner coming up and challenging a ball that was loosely controlled by Carlton. Here's a ball by Ramos. Hafner! Just off the post again! After the initial save, you've got to be kidding!
There's that silent Catherine right there.
My goodness, springing up there, fed nicely by Ramos. It's the second shot on frame, and unfortunately, just like last week, the Vikings taking the idea of getting shots on goal a little bit too literally. As a goalkeeper, what's going through your head when that post saves you?
Crying of happiness. I think most keepers, as you dive and you feel that ball go past you, you turn and you see it rolling, knowing there's nothing else you can do. So when it hits that post, it's life-changing.
So Jaime, meanwhile, a ball forward looking for Carla Ramos. She is found to be in an offside position. Free kick coming up here for LPC. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer on the Isela substitution. Ball forward on one hop, headed up in the air by Jamalani. Takes an odd bounce here and gets by Dom Calloway. Jessica Morales trying to chase it down. Caitlin Cunningham dribbles it off of the number 15, and she's able to hold it into the byline. Alani on it, touches it off of Weinstein. And it will be a Hawk throw. And now we'll see the substitutions. Las Positas authoring their first two. Oh, perhaps Mr. Sapsford wants to wait. We'll see. Now, here we go. Substitution time, and let's learn some new names, shall we? Number 11, Monica Mesquita, is entering. Looks like she's coming in for Alani herself. And the number 8, Haley Mann, out. And coming in her place is Hannah Beauchamp. So, interestingly, that seems to be something that might change the formation, might change the just the personnel in certain areas. Here's the ball in. Look out! Rough moment of defending for DVC as it got over one player's head and under Callaway, but Hebbing able to rush out and grab it before anybody could get onto it. Hebbing's strong goal kick lands near midfield, knocked down by Aureli Loyola. She tries a 1-2 here with the number 5, Yumadan. Claimed by Cunningham, but Yumadan takes it right back. Ball out wide to the left side now for Amezquita. Trying to work on Weinstein, actually dribbled it away from herself and straight to Weinstein. Claimed, though, by LPC. Here's Carlton. Here to the near sideline, just in front of us for the number 2, Cuellar. Body to body, Ramos and Carlton. Ball sprayed out now wide to the right side for the newly entered Beauchamp, who seems to be stationing herself on the right side of the midfield. Cross into the 18, claimed inside the 6 by Sammy Hebbing. Callaway there trying to protect. Rodriguez came in. I did not actually spot who she came in for. Okay, Daisy Lozano off. So that would likely mean Ramos potential. Well, no, Ramos is still stationed up front. So looks like she is going to station herself a bit out left. Not necessarily a place that we've seen Isela up to this point. Mainly has played in the center. Out here, clearance from Dom Callaway actually hits Dargan. And from the top of the 18-yard box, nearly claimed by Amezquita, and now a foul against Andrea Weinstein. It will be a DVC free kick. As she and Amezquita went body to body. Another substitution coming in for DVC. It'll be Seguir entering. Apparently for Yasmin Jaime, that looks like it'll put Ramos into the midfield unless the Vikings are going to shift into a 4-3-3. So at present, oh, maybe not Yazzie. Oh, or maybe not doing it just yet. So a couple of signals from our assistant referee, Mr. Padilla. Here we go. No, another whistle. Net. Okay, there we go. I owe somebody 9 cents for the royalties on that now, don't I? Dagnabbit. I have to edit that out later. So, Haley Seguir in, Jaime out. So she and Scannell are pairing up top. Ramos puts herself now into the center of the midfield. Isela wide left, Hafner wide right. Here's a ball forward immediately by Isela, trying to get to Haley. She bodies off a defender, ends up on the ball, tries to get turned, puts it into space for Scannell on the top of the 18-yard box. 1-2 with Seguir. Back in control for a moment with Scannell, but nobody quite able to get themselves turned toward goal and pull the trigger. And at last, it's a foul called, I believe, against Smashley. And the free kick here back in control of Las Positas. Quickly down the left flank looking for the run of Morales. She and DVC's 15 Callaway go body to body, and that is what we know Dom for. Not necessarily flashy. What's it like to have somebody like her playing in front of you?
I loved Dom. She's like a brick wall, you know. Even if the ball gets by her, she works her butt off to get back and save. I was never really worried with Dom back there. Had a really, really great defensive line last year.
Yeah, you had a really nice pairing with her and Callie.
Oh, yeah.
The ball back in possession of LPC for a moment. Loyola, though, puts it into Weinstein. Ball takes a hop on Carla Ramos. She'll defend it. Spins her way around, finds a little space. Now tries to put this down the left for Isela. Curves a little bit too much and back to Beauchamp. She hoofs it forward, and LPC trying to build here by the far sideline. Quick 1-2 worked with Yumadan. The ball comes free down the right side for a moment. Now touched out for a Hawk throw. That's pretty quickly taken to Yumadan as we're under 20 minutes to go here in the first half. 0-0 the scoreline. Vikings a couple shots on goal. Saw Curran whistle one just wide. Las Positas yet to put a shot on goal, but we know how fast these things can change. Comes a ball in towards the top of the 18. Knocked back for Yumadan. She tries to shoot, hits her own teammate, Morales, who had fed her right in the back of the leg. Comes free here in the midfield, and good pressure by Scannell. Carlton Needing a deft touch to get around that. Centrally now for Umadon, about 30 yards from goal. Umadon turns, fires, and it's caught by Sammy Hebbing. First shot on goal for LPC. So we almost got through the last game without Sammy having to make a save. Megan, would have loved you to have actually seen your protege's first one, but that is number 2. Ball at the far sideline, contended by Isela Rodriguez and Hannah Beauchamp. Played now down the right flank, looking for Morales. Cunningham has her tracked. Forced to track back. Up comes Mazleski and tries to take that away. Still does filter through, though, to a LPC player. Rodriguez still working. Beauchamp able to finally spin away from Isela. Here comes a ball in, knocked down by Ramos near the top of the 18. Pushed forward by Ramos, maybe a little bit hasty, intercepted there by Loyola. She goes right back to work and gets it back. Plays it off of a defender and towards Mazleski. Mazleski challenged from behind. Ball popped free for a second. Ramos now trying to put it over the shoulder of Haley Seguir, and she kicks into turbo to try to beat Maddie Sousa to it. No dice, though. So Sousa on the ball, works centrally now for the other Maddie, Umadon. So Vikings lead the league, I'm going to assume, in Hannah's. We've got 4 of them this season. I'm going to go out on a limb and say they probably lead the league in Maddie's. This is Mildred Hill, though, on the other hand, coming forward, trying to split Hafner and Weinstein, and does to get the ball to Carlton on the overlap. Here comes her ball into the 18. Dargan punches that away without a whole lot of difficulty. Tracking back as he set out to claim that. Dumps it back for Dej. Attacked from behind here, and ball's dropped back to Sammy. She'll punch that one long towards the midfield stripe. Carla gets to it, plays it off of one player, and it does stay in within her sphere of influence for just a moment. Hill will put this out to a teammate with a little bit more space. That is Maddie Sousa now working her way on the right side. Played deep quickly for Jessica Morales. Not able to get onto that. DVC playing well there. Callaway brought forward looking for Isela, but that one ticks off of her into the benches, where we've actually got a decent gathering of DVC fans starting to come along. We had about 2 of them for my my introductions at the beginning of this. Yeah, what would you say? About it's tough when they're this scattered. I'm gonna go with somewhere in the vicinity of maybe 40, 50, something like that. Yeah. Not a bad turnout for a Thursday right at the beginning of the semester. DVC controlling the throw in. It's Carla Ramos looking to kick one of her teammates into turbo with a vertical ball. Taken away. Julia Curran, meanwhile, back into the game, and she's going to be the recipient of Megan Coppa, also freshly back into the game, bringing a ball forward. And now JC trying to beat Carlton down the right side. Working her way towards the edge of the box, touched away, and apparently Curran committing a foul as she tried to get back on the other side of Carlton. That's the 4th against DVC as we approach the final quarter of an hour here. So recapping right now, same defense that we started with. Weinstein, Callaway, Cunningham, and Dargan. Midfield right now consisting of Rodriguez, Ramos, Coppa, and Mazleski. And we've got Seguir and Curran back up top. So I think besides Isela, it's the same as our original starting lineup. It's the free kick claimed here by JC, working her way through 2 defenders, claimed by Haley Seguir, uses the body to get around one. Now double teamed here on the arrival of Umadon, and look out here. Seguir able to take that ball away from the number 2 Cuellar as well, and earns DVC a throw. Seguir doing hard work. Ball briefly in possession of DVC after the throw, but now Las Positas able to claim. It's Amezquita trying to feed Morales down the left wing again. Filters free to Callaway, who touches it off of her opposing number 15. Viking throw in to come. So I don't think we can quite operate a substitution, even though Mr. Padilla signaled it. Las Positas getting ready to put somebody new in. Ball down the wing for Amezquita. Coppa onto it. Played into the center now for Hannah Mazleski. She gets there just ahead of the arrival of the number 14, Savannah Dingman. Who is, oh, okay, that's what happened there. They put in Beauchamp to play right back, and Dingman has come way forward. DVC contending it at the far sideline. Hannah Mazleski trying to work her way through a few defenders. Plays that into space now for Isela. Centrally for Curran, trying to step around a defender. Got through one, not the second, though. But does take it away from another player. Cross is deflected, and that is going to be a Viking corner. And now it appears we will operate the substitution. DVC about to take their second corner of the day, so Vikings 2-0 lead on that. 3-3 the shots, 2-1 shots on goal in favor of DVC. As a substitute comes in, it's Haley Mann back in for Amezquita. That may change a few things up. Las Positas packing everyone back. Only Mann is stationed up in the center circle, guarded by Cunningham and Callaway. Here's the ball in from Curran, headed away after getting over the first line of defense. It's going to come right back to Curran on the left flank. Here comes JC, touches it onto her right, splits two defenders, now has it taken away from her, and it's going to get to Cunningham just before Mann. She pops the ball up onto the left side. Let's see who gets there first. DVC's got Haley Seguir trying to challenge for it. Deflected ball is popped away. Look out. Oh, nearly lost there by Maddie Sousa, and Curran. For a moment, you could see her eyes get big as saucers. I imagine same going on for Ali Nunez behind her. Throw in for the Vikings from the far sideline. Isela puts this down the left wing. Looks like it's going to stay in. Cross coming from the overlapping Dej Dargan. Let's see, did that go out for a throw or a corner? Can you tell? Okay. Stationed way out, about as far as they can get from us right now. Over on the left side, corner flag. Comes the throw, contended here for a moment by Curran, now cleared decisively by LPC, but out into the, I can't quite say stands. Those people are sitting. Got a couple of little deck chairs hanging out there. Here comes the Viking throw. Touch from Mazleski, apparently the last one, as she contended with a LPC player to try to get that ball away. So substitutions to be made in a moment for the Vikings. They're not going to be able to do that just yet as a throw-in is coming up, but, oh, maybe. Oh, here we go. So Jaime and Lozano coming in for, looks like Isela and Carla Ramos. Likely a pair of like-for-like swaps here as Ramos was in the center. She'll be replaced by Yazzie. Daisy back into her spot. Now we certainly have the starting lineup back out there in all of its glory. 11 minutes, 11 seconds left. Make a wish. I know what mine is. Comes the ball forward for Haley Seguir, working her way through three defenders. Here comes Haley. Into space for Coppa. She takes it first time. Can't get quite enough juice onto it. Fourth shot of the day. Third on goal for DVC, but nothing doing on that. Drop kick coming from Nunez. Long ball popped up in the air by Hannah Mazleski. Coppa onto it. Takes a touch with the head. So through about 35 minutes, what are your general impressions of what you've seen so far today, Megan?
I'm actually really impressed with their ball control and passing and combinations. It's actually really fun to watch, especially from those returners.
Certainly, I know a lot of improvement over the course of the 9-month off season.
Yeah, definitely.
Heaven knows it's a long time to try to improve. Long ball over the top, looking for Dej Dargan. Now, last season's team really hung its hat, I think, predominantly on their abilities on the defensive end, and this team has been no slouch thus far on defense either. As we've said, they've got one shot on goal to date as Las Positas. Tahoe only had two during that opening game. So where does that sort of thing start? I know last season that team, especially toward the end of the year, I think they gave up 2 first-half goals in their last 10 matches, which is a crazy statistic.
We were really lucky with a brick wall of a defense all year, and when we did get scored on, you can only defend 90 minutes every single game without any mistakes for so long, and we got lucky. We were honored with a great defense.
Well, that great defense is going to have to defend the first LPC corner of the day as the ball was served in, headed clear by Dom Callaway straight out the back. So that'll be taken from the far sideline. And heading over to get that appears to be the number 23, Sousa. So LPC immediately packing the box. They've got 5 players in there. We see Loyola, we see Dingman, Umadon, and Heel. Got a couple of really tall center backs in there. Imagine you probably want somebody like a Cunningham or a Mazleski marking up one of those. So here it comes in. Sousa, the right-footed kick. It'll be an outswinger from the right side. This ball landing near the penalty spot, headed away by Dom. Shot comes from the number 14 Dingman, but it's blocked by DVC, and they try to spring in the counterattack. A lot of speed here with Curran. She gets stopped, however, by the number 4 Beauchamp, and she tries to feed a ball in, blocked by the back of Curran. Pushed forward, Mazleski again towards Curran. JC toward the far sideline. Centers it now for Hannah. Up steps Loyola and is able to take that one away for Las Positas. Sprayed out wide to the left side now, or actually more down the middle. Callaway repels that. Chested down by Loyola. Jaime trying to challenge. Looked like she got swept under by the number 5 Umadon, who spins around Lozano, and they're going to call the foul for hacking that down, but nothing for her undercutting Dom Callaway. 5th Viking foul on the day. This one from about dead center, maybe 35 yards out. What generally makes a good wall player?
You want the midfielders in the wall. Height sometimes matters depending on where and how the height on the other team is.
3 in the wall. Here comes the ball floating over the top, and again, hit very, very deep and very, very long. So Maddie Sousa not able to put in anything threatening. Sammy Hebbing will cut this one loose in a moment for the goal kick. 7.5 minutes to go in half number 1. We remain scoreless here at Vikings Field in the home opener. Now, we've talked a lot about returning players, talked about new players. Let's talk for a second about departed players. DVC hosted their first alumni game back in May, and I had a chance to come out and see that. What was your experience of that event?
Alumni games are always fun. It's fun seeing everyone, and a little different than high school because you don't really know many of the other alumni. Lucky for me, I knew my sister, who's a forward, and I got to play against her, so that was very fun. Always fun playing goalkeeper against your sister who's a forward.
That sounds enjoyable. Or potentially heartrending, one way or the other. DVC taking the ball away on the left side, trying to flood it forward was Jaime looking for Seguir, cut off by the LPC defense. Lozano at the far sideline on it. Trying to take it away from an LPC player. Hannah Mazleski gets herself stuck in on Umadon, takes the ball away. Lozano trying to body up Beauchamp. She's able to win that, puts it down the right flank, looking for Morales, but too long again. And the Vikings will have a goal kick here and a chance to reset. Substitution time here for Las Positas. Looks like Alani, I believe. Ball in possession of Las Positas for just a moment. They're not able to maintain it over at the far sideline, though. Beauchamp puts it out. Vikings throw coming up with 5.5 to go. Here comes the throw going down the left side, looking for Daisy, and that is repelled immediately by LPC. We're going to keep living over there by the Vikings faithful. I feel like we've played a lot of this game on the left side. What do you think?
Yeah, we have.
That'll be a lot more fun in the second half, especially if it's the Vikings attacking.
Definitely.
Comes the ball dropped now down into the penalty area by Las Positas, but too long for Quellar to get onto. Excuse me, Haley Mann, rather, the 8. Having able to claim, and she punches this deep. Yazzie with a lot of space, able to knock that ball down. Plays it forward now, looking for Megan Coppa. Cuts her run centrally, looking for the overlap on the right side. Now Weinstein's going to get to it after a touch from Seguir. Dre has to track back just a little bit to settle that ball inside the near sideline. Yazzie and Coppa working together. Coppa's got a good bit of space here at the top of the area. Knocked down the ball in by Curran. She's able to get to it before Loyola does after a deflection. Lozano trying to get there, and Sousa's going to, Beauchamp rather, is going to clear again. Into the goals at the far sideline. Throw in for DVC from near the midfield stripe. Cailin Cunningham pushing the ball forward for Daisy. She dives, manages to stop the ball, but not before it went out. Throw in now to LPC. Umadon. Drop back for Beauchamp. Tries to push this one forward down that line and can't get it to curl just right. So DVC will throw in again. Dejana Dargan. Brings this one forward. Mazleski, a couple of nice touches to get herself free. Jaime sprays it over to the left side for Daisy. She punches that into Beauchamp. Out again for a Viking throw. As DVC try to make some of their recent territorial dominance count here towards the end of half number 1. Haley Seguir contesting Dargan. It's going to come free to Haley. She's about 45 yards from goal. She hoofs this one deep, trying to get Coppa on the run, but it's going to curl right to Ali Nunez in goal. Looks like Amezquita getting ready to enter again for Las Positas. Ball pops up in the air here after Nunez's deep kick. Mazleski able to get ahead to it. Settled now by Sousa, working against Daisy Lozano. Out wide now to the right side for Beauchamp. Lozano trying to dive in. Beauchamp, nice little stop to let her fly right by. Plays it to Loyola with a little space. Touches it neatly to the outside around Cailin Cunningham. Tries to come to a stop. Cailin gets a touch. It's going to carry not quite to the sideline. She's now working against the number 14, Dingman. We'll see who gets there. Stays in play. Drop back by Dingman now for Loyola. Hannah Mazleski coming out to challenge her. Loyola on the ball. Working her way down the right flank. Still Loyola. Laid back for Umadan. She needs to use the body to settle. Sprays it out wide to the right side. Dingman. Here comes the ball in, looking for Haley Mann. Popped up in the air by Coppa. Shot on the half volley by Umadan. Blocked again by Coppa. Ball worked forward for the offside, Jessica Morales. And with 2 minutes, 22 seconds left, we'll have a free kick in just a moment here for DVC. The clock will stop and we'll pilot half number 1 into the hangar. Hebbing drills this one out towards the right side for Coppa. Can she get onto it after the first deflection? Yes, but it carries over now for a throw-in. Now the substitution to come for LPC. It does look to be Amezquita. We'll see who she's coming in for. And appears going back in for the number 4. That was Hannah Beauchamp. So Dingman retreats back into the defense. It is Morales, Umadan, and Amezquita playing in the forward line, the 4-3-3 run by Paul Sapsford. Morales trying to protect around Coppa, plays it off of Dre. And it will be an LPC throw here inside the final 2 minutes. Carlton to take that here from the near sideline. Oof! Jamalani throws an elbow into Yazime, and apparently Yazzie committed the foul. Any explanation for that?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Refs have, special glasses that we can't see what's actually going on.
I think I know why they call her Jam instead of Jamila, because could have jammed Yazzie's face. My goodness. At any rate, 2-woman wall. The ball here near the near sideline. Maddie Sousa floats this in towards the top of the 18, trying to get ahead to it. None of the LPC players get to the first opportunity, but touched forward by, looks to be the number 11, the newly entered Amezquita. And her attempt to put the ball on frame took a deflection, goes out for LPC's second corner of the day. That count now evened up, as is the 4-4 count on shots. DVC still leading 3-1 in shots on goal. Just the one save so far for Sammy. Late days of the first half. Corner kick coming from the right side. Out swinger floating towards the penalty spot. Headed clear by the statuesque Cailin Cunningham. Here comes a shot. Cleared off the line. Still alive inside the 6-yard box. Goes to ground as an LPC player. No foul given, thank heavens. Hearts in throats for a moment there as Umadan went to the deck, but all fair according to Mr. Saman. I won't ask your thoughts on that one.
Good thing you didn't see that one. That's all I could say.
The throw coming here from Loyola at the near sideline. Ball played in, headed clear by Coppa. A foul whistled here, and that will also do it for the half. So perhaps no foul given, just the end of half number 1. We remain scoreless 0-0. Vikings and LPC, very evenly contested match. We'll be back in 15 minutes with some impressions and the beginning of half number 2.
Welcome to Vikings Soccer Rewind Halftime. Joe Hickey back with you here in the year 2020. Hoping you enjoyed a tense first period of action, including a few big chances from the green and white, and yet another ball off the woodwork, this time from Kat Hafner. Through 45 minutes, a scoreless encounter, but I promise you it wakes up in the second half. We're joined right now by a pair of Megans, one of them playing in this game, the other calling it alongside me. Megan Coppa, Megan Elms, thanks for taking the time out to join us.
I'm so excited for this.
So we'll start with this. What, if anything, do you remember about the game we're watching today? I know, Coppa, we're looking at one of your first games playing in the attack, so and a big moment soon to come in this one.
Yeah, it was when Coach kind of had me get out of the back line a little bit, heading on up the side, mostly because I was a good runner, I guess. I did score this game, but my career as an attacker was very short-lived. I think I went to the back pretty shortly after that. But yeah, I don't remember too much from this game besides the goal and the Daisy incident, but other than that,
And we're going to talk about that a little bit when it actually comes up in the video. So
yeah.
spoiler alert / stay tuned. And Megan, obviously you're not playing in this one, but it was your broadcast debut, at least as far as I know. How do you remember that feeling?
I remember being excited, just hanging out, being able to like talk about the game with you, especially seeing Coppa go forward, because I remember she used to make runs up the field all the time. So just giving her that position to watch her play and then her score, it was really exciting.
The two of you did share the field in 2014. That was actually one of the things I thought was neatest about having you on the broadcast, Elms, was the fact that you basically knew most of the folks. There were 14 returning players that year.
Yeah.
What are your clearest memories of playing off of each other during your time there in 2014?
Honestly, it was really nice because Coppa and I already had like a connection coming from high school since she was my defender. Like, we communicated really well. She listened to me. If I was missing something, she talked to me. So we already had a relationship set up and ready to go. And I feel like we just kind of molded right into that with the 2014 season, just went right back to how it used to be with us.
Yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. Like, I definitely trusted Elms with my life. And yeah, she could be really aggressive, which I think is really good, which I really appreciate in a goalkeeper, because I don't have to second guess her decisions. I know she's going to go for it, and my goal and my job is to cover that goal for her. So I know exactly when she pulls out, where I'm headed, what I get to do. And I remember one time, I think it was junior year in high school or something, that Elms went for a tackle, missed the ball, and I was in the goal ready. So it's just like we have that like dynamic where we kind of understand each other. And yeah, like I knew when she was gonna get it. Like, I definitely trusted her, and it was we definitely had that relationship going into Vikings. So that was really cool. I really like that.
Yeah. Not a lot of defenders realize that's their role. When I go out, they need to cover.
Oh, I'm sprinting.
And Coppa's one of the really good ones with that. She knew. She became the new keeper when I went out, and that was also like amazing.
I also feel so protective over Megan too.
Yeah.
Like, if someone was like corner kicks or something, when like a forward's like up against her, I'm like, ooh, I'm on this one. I'm like, okay, you're gonna come for my keeper, I'll come for you.
Oh, that's so. What has life held for the two of you over these last 5 or 6 years? Coppa, you've moved somewhere new, right?
Yes, I am living in Portland, Oregon. I've been here for 2 years now. I left right after I graduated college, and just been kind of messing around a little bit. I kind of call this the Peter Pan city, because no one expects you to really grow up or do anything. You know, you still see people kind of just, making art, doing community organizing, and all still while being like the local barista type of thing, which I think good and bad. But it's a really cool scene. I've met some really awesome people here, and I love this city.
And Megan, Elms?
Right after DVC, I got into nursing school, so I basically went full-fledged nursing, and now I'm a nurse. I don't get to play soccer much more. I tore my ACL a couple years ago playing co-ed, and that kind of has still deterred me from going back and playing, because it's just not the same. Everyone told me after ACL surgery your knee's gonna be better, but they lied. It's not. It's not better. So I do nursing now.
I've never had to deal with the ACL, but I have a small meniscus tear from playing softball a few years back. So I get to be part of the messed up knees club now. I feel like I identified with about half of our team last year in that respect.
I think Coppa still has a gold star for messed up ACLs, I think.
Yeah. Good times, sometimes.
Wear it as a badge of honor.
You're right.
I know.
Now, Coppa, I asked you a notorious question in the sophomore interview. I don't think I was doing this one yet when I interviewed Elms in 2014, but it was essentially to the effect of it was two things. It was, what do you think you'll remember most about being a Viking 5 years from now? And then I think I also asked, who will you most miss playing with? For the two of you, it's not a hypothetical anymore. It's been 5 or 6 years. So what is the first thing that pops to mind if someone just says the word Vikings to you and you think about those 2 years?
Definitely Vikings on 3. But definitely it's like the memories that I made. Like when I talk about like my college experience, I'm usually talking about my time at DVC and the people I met. Even though I did go on to a 4-year university, I just feel like those 2 years were so influential of like just the rest of my time that I spent in school. So really it was like the people, the memories, honestly, not so much the soccer, which I'm not wholly surprised about. It was really just about making those memories on and off the field. And just like community college things, like, you know, when you go to a 4-year and you see all these people and they've been at a 4-year the whole time, you're like, wait, this is how it kind of works. Because I was operating on this wholly different, totally chaotic, just kind of like community college group. So I don't know, those are stuff that I'm always going to look back fondly on. Definitely coach making us do laps early morning, double days in the weight room. It was a lot of hard work, but I definitely going to value that.
For me, when I think of Vikings, I purely think of soccer because school was whatever. Like I basically just did it so I could play. I didn't really, like I got in, got out. And specifically soccer, the van rides to our games and just like what transpired in every van ride to every game is like what I always think of, just because you were always kind of paired up with different people and you really just didn't know how reckless, I guess, we were going to get going to the game. After the game could be hit or miss. If we lose, everyone's pretty upset. And so sometimes the demeanor is different coming home. But if you go there excited, we get a good win, and then everyone's just like partying the whole way home. So that's what I think of the most.
Yeah, that was a piece of my eventual interviews down the road, was that I would ask everybody who was the best singer and who was the worst singer from those van rides. And it was a very, very tight, interesting race that year. A lot of people chose the same person for both, and a lot of people chose themselves for both. So it was a very entertaining thing.
That's funny.
Well, I want to tell the two of you, just since I've got you here. For me, I in doing this, I've thought a little bit about like what jumps to mind for me about each of you. And for Coppa, I think it's a tie of two things for each of you. For Coppa, it's the terrifying sound you made at the end of every shift, coming back to the sideline, trying to find your breath again, because you gave everything I could imagine. And then the other one was the sort of the tearful hug at the end of that interview with you and Hannah Maz, where I think it hit home to me how much, particularly the two of you, really valued the experience you were having there and loved that group. So those were pretty defining for me. For Elms, it's the flying high five after you all beat Santa Rosa.
Yeah,
you guys broke the huddle. It came over, and that one's coming up later in this season of Viking Soccer Rewind. But you all broke the huddle, and I think I heard your voice clear as a bell come out of it and go, "Oh my God, look how pumped up Joe is!" Because I'd done all the research. I knew you guys hadn't beat them in 20 years, and so I was like, can't believe this. And so you came running over and did that. And the other thing I remember about you was the alumni game. And every time your team scored a goal in the alumni game, I heard you again, clear as a bell, going, "Joe, do it!" and making the goal calls. I think
I'm
the last
usually the loudest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of different later years with Sammy. I don't remember her having quite the same megaphone just attached.
Yeah.
Good times. So is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, players or coaches that might be watching today before we call it a day?
Definitely Coach. I miss
Coach. Yeah.
I miss Coach so much. Like, seriously, the best coach I ever had. And I look back on that time like so thankful that we had her as a coach.
Coach, man.
Yeah.
When I got her text, it'd be like, "Hey, Joe can't find you. Do you want to do this?" I was like, "God!" Like, I saw her name pop up on my phone. I was like, "Oh my God, Coach!" Like, yeah, like all the meetings that we had with her, and I don't know, just the way that she really did believe in me. Like, I think that's so influential in the way that I kind of progressed as a person, as a soccer player, as a student, was just like that faith that she always kind of had in me and those expectations, the bar that she set. Yeah, I always really respected her for that.
Well, it's been wonderful catching up with the two of you. Megan, thanks for joining us today. Coppa, we're going to borrow you in about 7 minutes to discuss a big moment in the second half. But for now, back to the Vike for the second half of DVC Las Positas. Second half now is underway. Takeaways from the first half, Megan?
Usually the second half is when the fitness starts coming in. I don't know how physically fit the girls are, but they seem like they're getting a little tired at the end of the first half. So hopefully we got some new fresh bodies in.
And Megan doing my act here in a moment and helping out with getting the ball back as the ball drifts under the feet of Savannah Dingman and out for a Viking throw. Taking quickly for Curran at the top left corner of the box. She's got to dribble a little bit in retro. Manages to work it to Jaime with a little space and to Mazleski with a little bit more space. She's working laterally towards the right. Finds Coppa there. Drop back to Callaway. She's going to punch it deep quickly, looking for the burning speed of Hailey Seguir. Can she get there before the keeper? Not quite. She tumbles over the number 1, Ali Nunez, trying to get on the end of that here in minute number 2 of the second half.
It's also Sammy not in goal anymore.
Oh, you're right. My mistake. So, yeah, I only took one quick look. So, first appearance here in green and white, or more accurately in yellow and black, for Katie McLaughlin. That's the freshman now coming across the street from College Park, making her first appearance here today at Vikings Field. Hailey Seguir on the ball. She turns and fires. Looked like a handball from Hannah Beauchamp. Nothing given. And perhaps we can consider that a slight makeup call for the missed penalty kick earlier against Maddie Umadon. So maybe all even on that now. Here's the long ball looking for Dom Callaway. And she fouls the LPC player over there by the far sideline. My goodness, though, ball brought in towards the 18-yard box, and that sure looked suspicious from here.
Definitely.
At any rate, a free kick coming up now for Las Positas from just across the midfield stripe on the left side. And apparently a word from Coach Saman to assistant coach Julio Borge. Goodness, Miami. And wow. I don't know how much of that's getting picked up on your mic. I know mine's really good at getting rid of the background noise these days, but
Coach has to get the last word. Leave it at that.
The lovely drama. Ball played in by Las Positas. Walled off by DVC. Oh, Curran trying to spray it for Seguir. Gets by her the first opportunity, but Hailey gets onto the ball. Blows by Savannah Dingman. Working her way towards the byline. Working her way now into the box. Puts it on her right. Fires and just can't quite wrap the foot around it. Goes out for a goal kick, but nice work there to even the shot total by Hailey Seguir. What a job down the left wing. How about that speed?
She got some wheels on her.
Something the Vikings took advantage of in little fits and spurts last season through Julia Curran. It's something else to have two players with that kind of speed up there. I think what impresses me about Hailey in particular is how fast she gets up to full velocity, too.
It looks effortless,
Jaime
too.
walls off a ball over here to the right side. It's out for an LPC throw. Cailin going back to chase it, and it'll be Dingman to bring it in. Here comes that throw into Cailin. She holds the ball in. Jaime challenging and forces the error out of her. Ball pops up just over the player benches. The Vikings will have a throw from right here in front of us. 4 minutes in, still 0-0. Vikings continuing to press on the accelerator. Second time we've seen Hailey put a run like that together this season, and first one she hit the post, this time not quite able to get it on target. Ball is out for a Vikings throw at midfield. Quickly to Hailey Seguir. Back to goal near the midfield stripe, trying to work her way around a defender. Does nicely, gets around it. Daisy looked like she might have absorbed a foul from Dingman, and the referee will call it back for the DVC free kick. Allowed the advantage to materialize for a moment, then as soon as Souza worked her way in there, whistled the infringement. Daisy kicking up a little bit of grass here right in front of us. This is directly in front of us, this free kick. The Vikings have 5 players near the edge of the 18. Sagir and Curran making their runs.
Nice
Here comes the ball floated in. Really nice ball. Popped up by Ireli Loyola with the head. Jessica Morales trying to latch onto it, but Hannah Masleski's going to get there first. Drop back for Weinstein. Pressed forward looking for the run of Curran. Cleared away now by Beauchamp. And Dom Calloway able to collect that near the far sideline. Here's her ball over the top. And look out, Curran's going to have a chance to get onto this if it stays in play for her. It does. Julia cuts it back onto her left foot, looking for space for a cross. It's in here for Coppa. Megan! Goal! Go, 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 go! Oh, captain, my captain, Megan Coppa! All right, so break this thing down for me here, Coppa. What's going on? I notice right about there, you and Julia are practically running into the same spot.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, this is like one of the first times coach is kind of trying me out on the offense there. And I am I've always been this way. You put me in the mid, you put me up top. I'm so bad about knowing where I'm supposed to be. For whatever reason, I'm like in the way, or I'm not open, or I'm like even with another player. I don't know. It somehow does not click. On defense, no problem. So definitely, and Julia's a very creative player. Like, she'll kind of dribble around, do her own thing. She's not always looking for the pass, so trying to kind of read her body and know where she's going to go next. So I do remember her like kind of getting the ball and being like, all right, I guess I'm just going to move out of her way so she can like go in. Right. And then she just kind of ends up finding me through. Yep. And I just kind of go with the ball, and as I turn, I'm like, oh, I'm in front of the goal now. Cool.
Yeah, and so there's the peel off right there, and like you said, that's the nice thing. Julia does a good job of occupying her defender and spending a little bit of time to let you get into that spot.
Yeah, then, she always likes that, and so as I kind of like am in front of the goal, I see the goalie come out, and I use my left foot just instinctually, and I'm shocked as everyone else that it goes in. This is the first time I've scored in, I don't know, 5-6 years. I'm always the last defender, like on a corner kick. Coach is like, get back. Like, I never go up on the defense. So I don't know, just the moments when I like actually turn my brain off and just kind of instinctually play with it. Like, I guess magic happens, but it didn't happen too often.
And then, of course, we've got the joyful celebration. Elms, had you been planning? I know you loved those goal calls so much. Had you been planning to do that with me, or did it just?
No, I don't think so.
just in the moment.
If people start yelling, I'm ready to yell too.
Suddenly, kind of, you understand where it wells up from in me. Right? And then, of course, we've got to talk about the aftermath. Yes. Because I even did a bit about this on the season highlight video.
And if you're wondering what all that giggling is about, let me roll that back for you and zoom in. See, everything fine here. Happy, greeting your teammate who just, down goes Lozano. Daisy, why would you get in front of that train?
Do you remember anything? Do you think Daisy remembers anything about this?
I mean, yeah, we used to joke about it for years. She always be like, Coppa, remember when you threw me to the ground? I'd be like, Daisy, you didn't mean to. She was like, I'm just messing with you. But I did feel really bad. I think she was going for a high five and I was going for a hug. So it just went to a full drop. I just dropped her.
I think we have Ashley Skidell and Lizzie Chavez reenacting the goal celebration as Lozano managed to get knocked down by her teammate there, but a moment of jubilation here in minute number 51. The Vikings at long last on the board. Coppa from Curran. That ball in from Julia was beautiful, laid right there at the feet. Sagir gets a touch now on the ball as DVC try to reset. Looks like it's going to die right here on the sideline. Okay, Dingman able to let that roll over. Hawk throw as Las Positas try to regroup. Ball pops loose here in the center of the three-quarter zone. Curran not quite able to get onto it. Cunningham walling off the arrival of Morales. Lays it back for Dom Calloway. Worked over now to the right side for Andrea Weinstein, and DVC trying to attack again. A lot of speed on the field here. We heard in our season preview about the speed and tenacity of Dre. She's somebody we can look for on overlaps, hopefully throughout the season. How about Coppa getting on the goal sheet for the first time?
That was impressive. I don't think I saw Coppa score. She was always my defender last year.
Right, exactly. Yeah, held her back. Maybe a little bit of left back overlap over the course of a few games, like against Sac City. But to my recollection, I don't think she had a goal or an assist last year. Ball in. That is a handball this time, seen by the referee. And see Julio Borge remove his hat in frustration. I'm not repeating that on air. Free kick to come here on the handball from the left side for Las Positas. DVC in the lead for the first time this season, and we talked a little bit last time about some statistics that we will get to in just a moment after this free kick. Looks like, I think, 4 in the wall, although they're more or less parallel to where I'm looking. So
It's 3 now.
Okay, 3 now as Mazleski comes out. Here comes the free kick from Las Positas, floated into the 18, punched away McLaughlin. It comes free for a moment at the top for Las Positas, turning, firing, and equalizing. Going to take me a second to figure out exactly who that was. Did you catch the number on that train? Is it 14 Dingman here in front of us?
Yeah. No, 24 maybe?
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think it's 24.
Okay, so we'll try to work that out. It was a bit of a mess out there, so unfortunately for DVC, their lead lasts exactly 2 minutes. And so the Vikings with it all to redo at this point, 36 minutes and 30 seconds to go, 1-1 your scoreline. I think besides Cosumnes River last year, I think that's the closest I've seen to scored goals to one another in time. Ball controlled in the midfield for a moment here by Loyola. She takes it away now. Mazleski gets back onto it. Looked like she might have shoved Loyola to ground. Nothing given. LPC able to come back away with it, though, as Loyola got back up. Umadan spraying out wide to the left side. Looking for, I believe, Beauchamp. Overlapping on the left. Puts it now down in towards the corner. Weinstein looking to protect it and guide it out. Last touch is off of... No, never mind. It didn't actually go out. Oh! The ball cleared off, and it hit a spectator in the face. So we may need our trainer, Rick Becker, for an unexpected reason. Maybe we'll see. Boy, hazardous conditions out there. Here comes a throw-in for LPC. Takes one big hop, popped up with the head of Cailin Cunningham. Tries to clear it away. Turning and firing is Jessica Morales, but Katie McLaughlin able to come out for her first save in a DVC uniform. So your count now, and there is a player on the ground. We'll get to that in a moment. Is that Cunningham? Cailin, we certainly hope in good shape. It was, she comes back to her feet. Was unfortunately around this time in the second game of the season last year that she ended up losing her freshman campaign. Luckily able to take a red shirt, retains the year of eligibility, but broke her foot in a game against Lake Tahoe, the home opener of last season. Comes the ball out to the left side now. Controlled by Las Positas. Taken away neatly here by Yasmin Jaime. Out wide to the right side looking for JC. Here comes Julia. Keeps the ball in. Here comes another cross. First one led to a goal. This time, though, it's going to end up cleared by Ireli Loyola from right at the top of the 18. Dargan rushing up. Look out. DVC risks being a little exposed, but luckily the clearance from Las Positas drifts out here for a throw. Comes the throw in here for Dej Dargan. Cleared away, and it will be another throw for DVC from nearly the same spot. We'll see if it's going to be Daisy or Dej to take this one. So the throw in is going to find the feet of Haley Sagir. She's not quite able to control it. Umadan, nice touch to get herself around Mazleski, and she's got a lot of space to run into in the midfield. Yazzie tracking back from behind her, manages to challenge her and stop her run. Dropped back now by LPC for Quelar. Out to the left for Carlton. Long ball headed clear by Dom Calloway. Yasmin Jaime briefly on it. Ball pops free in the midfield. Hannah Mazleski will get to it. Briefly looked like maybe too many cooks in the kitchen, but they managed to work their way forward. Mazleski, Coppa, comes free to JC, plays it into space now on the right wing for Mazleski, and she's got a little room. Tries to cross this in towards the top of the 18-yard box, taken by Souza. Mazleski herself came back in crashing. Sort of relentlessness there in the middle, I think, defines her sort of play, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yazzie takes the ball away, lays it into space for JC. Might think about a shot, goes with the left right at Ali Nunez. Evens up the shot total 7-7, 5-4 DVC the advantage on shots on goal, 1-1 your scoreline. Not quite reflected on the scoreboard as of late, or as of yet. LPC controls through Jessica Morales. Dargan able to stop her run for a moment, but she now punches the ball forward looking for the run of Haley Mann, the number 8. Precocious freshman takes a shot with the left, blocked away by Cailin Cunningham. Jaime and Mazleski working with it, lots of time to play with. So we hear the bench let the team know. Out wide right for Megan Coppa. Coppa threads this forward looking for JC, cleared away from her. Just over the head of Dre Weinstein, but she'll have a chance to author a throw, and the Vikings getting ready to author their first substitution of the half. Looks as though it'll be the number 3, Hannah Lewis, as well as the number 9, Ashley Scannell, rather. Sorry, it's Andrea Weinstein, Ashley Scannell. Entering the match. So Cunningham will come off perhaps to get a little treatment. And it looks like that's going to mean Lewis perhaps into the... Oh, okay, it looks like Lozano in at left back, Lewis into the midfield, and Dargan coming into the center of the defense in place of Cailin Cunningham. Scannell stations herself up top, as is her way. Yasmin Jaime taking the ball away, gets it to Sagir at the right edge of the box. Here's Haley. Haley working to the byline, crossing! Did it take a deflection? Indeed it did. Corner kick number 3 for the day for DVC. So it looks like Coppa going over to the corner flag. How do you generally prefer your corner kicks managed when you're the one in goal?
I like having someone on both my posts, and I like the zones, the 3 zones, which is what I learned here with Coach.
Certainly paid off last time DVC had to defend a corner. This time the ball popped loose by Las Positas. Weinstein, I believe, trying to get onto that. She is going to be whistled for having committed a foul as she gets bowled over, and the frustration starting to boil over a little bit with Mr. Saman. He has called 7 fouls in against DVC, just 3 in their favor thus far. It's the first time I think I've seen the players really demonstrative on the field. So how do you keep that sort of thing in check when you're out there so you don't end up angering the official?
It's hard, especially once the game gets a little tougher.
Oh, a yellow card given to Hannah Mazleski here in minute number 60 and continues to boil over. Challenging for a ball, apparently recklessly, according to our match official. So it'll be a free kick coming from just across the midfield stripe over at the far sideline, left side of the field as LPC are concerned. Souza to take it, 2 in the wall. It's a long, lofted ball towards the top of the 18-yard box. Headed, glancing, trying to continue the ball onward. Drop back now for Cuellar. Her touch takes it all the way out to the right side. Her cross is going to bring it right to Katie McLaughlin before the arrival of Jessica Morales. Long drop kick is going to take one big hop. Souza and Sagir go body to body. Maddie Souza getting the better of that and heads the ball forward. But Yasmin Jaime is going to spray this down to the right wing now for Scannell. Ashley working on Beauchamp. Nope, she's going to drop this back now for Coppa. Good first touch to try to get around Carlton, but Carlton recovers, takes the ball away, and now she tries to flow up that left wing. Puts this over the shoulder of Morales. Callaway there to cover. She'll drop this all the way back to McLaughlin. We still await an opportunity to bring in the substitute, Carla Ramos. Good work by Daisy to find the space there and get that first touch off of her boot. Works it forward to Hannah Mazleski. Drop back now for... Is that Weinstein? At any rate, Sagir trying to touch the ball forward for Hannah Lewis. Not quite able to get that into proper position for her. Goes out the sideline for a LPC throw. Headed back by behind her by Jessica Morales. It's going to filter all the way to the back line for DVC. Lozano, against pressure from Las Positas, not quite able to earn the throw. Goes the Hawks' way. This time we are going to operate the substitution, apparently. Maybe Las Positas has one of their own to author. Or not. Mr. Padilla keeps giving me false alarms. Now, here we go. Ramos is in. Seguir is going to take her leave for a little bit. So Scannell and Curran up top. Oh, no, never mind. Again, it's Ramos up top. Throw-in coming from Loyola at the near sideline, right side of LPC's attack. Down towards the corner, Daisy Lozano working to try to get it away from Morales. She earns the byline. Long cross to the far post. McLaughlin's out of her own goal, running out and grabbing it. Very tenacious little bit of work. Thought she might let that just drift off, but we did mention that apparently Katie has a little bit of a visual similarity to you, Megan. That certainly looked like a you kind of play. Goal. The referee nearly shielding Mazleski off of a bouncing ball there, but it does finally come to her. Lewis, just over the head of Scannell, comes for the newly inserted Carla Ramos. She tries to put this down the right side for Coppa, but it's going to drift for Carlton. Las Positas in control right now. Carlton nearing the midfield stripe on the left side, just under the boot of Jaime. Works it further to the left. Looking for Amezquita. Centrally, and it's a lazy ball. Scannell trying to get back onto it, and she does. Ashley floats this out now for Daisy. Here comes the challenge again, though. Not able to touch it through Dingman was Lozano, and now it's LPC trying to flood forward, and Dingman with a bit of a mishit there, trying to feed someone down the right side. And as you mentioned, Megan, this is perhaps where the conditioning starts to come in. We saw a little bit of a fall off toward the end of the first half, and might be seeing a little bit of that manifesting itself here again. What sort of conditioning work do you guys do during the course of the season? How do you try to get your air?
Well, conditioning was mostly in our drills because game days, Tuesdays and Fridays, you don't want to go too crazy before a game. So Wednesday was your main conditioning day where you would, do some sprints and stuff. But the rest was...
Hannah Mazleski running a bit of a risk here. She's already got a yellow card. She ends up shoving the... right back Dingman out of play as she tries to get onto that ball and ends up getting a few words from our center official, Mr. Saman. It is still a throw-in, though. No foul given for that. Trying to touch it over her own head there was Loyola, but not able to keep it in play. So you were saying?
I don't remember what I was saying.
Now we're discussing just conditioning in general, how you get yourself in the sort of shape you need to be to run around out here for 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's basically all in the drills, just pushing yourself as hard as you can in the drills. We did a lot of 11v11 scrimmaging, which it's basically all gameplay, so it's just reenacting a game, but you're not sprinting the length of the field back and forth. There's a lot of stopping, so it's what you put into it.
We'll see what the wind is in these Vikings. We hope it remains at our backs, both metaphorically and quite literally. So that wind that was blowing very strongly across the field earlier has rather died down. I remember vividly one game we had last season that was well conditioned by that wind. That Santa Rosa game was nuts. As McLaughlin puts the goal kick towards midfield. Ball forward looking for Carla Ramos. A little bit too long for her. Claimed there by Maddie Souza. She continues to work against the number 18. Excuse me. There's the 18 Alani, who's back into the match now. Ball floated centrally towards the three-quarter zone. Takes one odd touch. Looked like it was going to maybe fall for Cuellar, but Hannah Lewis onto it. Near the sideline. Does well with the instep to keep the ball in play. Here comes Hannah Mazleski, trying to work her way through the number 8. Haley Mann. Works it central. Scannell, ton of space. She's got room to try and bring in a ball to the left wing, and she's found Hannah Lewis on the overlap near the left side corner flag. Hannah gets there, trying to put in a cross, gets the deflection, earns DVC, corner kick number 4. So Las Positas equalized earlier off of the developments of a corner. We will see if the Vikings can take advantage of one to get that lead right back. Looks like it will be Scannell to put it in. Lewis up at the top of the box, Jaime and Ramos inside the 6. Curran also at the top edge of the 18. Not exactly packed full of Vikings. The in-swinger coming now from Scannell. Here's the ball towards the penalty spot, headed away by the number 15, Morales. Curran able to get back onto it just outside the box, tries to bring in a ball central. Cleared away by Souza. Knocked down by Weinstein, tries to play it forward, again walled off by LPC. Got to watch out. It was a counterattack off of a corner kick last year that actually created the LPC goal. Callaway, though, now in possession. She tries to drop this over the shoulder of Andrea Weinstein, overlapping. She continues to battle at the near sideline. Gets the ball free. Tries to work it to the right side for Ramos. Foul given, and it is in favor of DVC this time. Looked like Alani getting an illegal touch, perhaps? Or did that ball just go out?
I think it just went out.
Oh, okay. We'll see in a moment. Nope, looks like a free kick. So Dom will take this. DVC packing the box a little bit more. They got 5 in there now, right at the edge of the 18. Looking to get onto a long, curving, hopefully, assist. Here comes Dom from the right side. Ball drifting in towards goal right at Ali Nunez, unfortunately, at the near post. 22 minutes to try to turn this around and find a game winner after having taken the lead and only held it for the briefest of moments. Dingman on the ball, works it forward now for Cailin Cunningham. Well, not for Cailin Cunningham, but claimed by her for a moment. Out now for a LPC throw. Now, a statistic that I was going to allude to here, the Vikings last season 14 times managed to navigate the first half without conceding a goal. As we said, in 8 of their last 10 games, they managed that feat. Last season, 7 wins, 3 losses, 4 draws when they managed to accomplish that. Also of note, last season, the team 7 wins, no losses, 2 draws when they managed to get the first goal of the game. And so looking to extend that with at least some manner of positive result. They were, by comparison, 0-10 when they conceded the first goal. "21 minutes to decide things. Throw in down the right sideline by Las Positas. They manage to remain in control. Spray back out wide for Loyola. She tries to cross over to the left post from the right. Nothing doing, and I believe it's Julia Curran tracking all the way back who clears that ball away. Held by Ashley Carlton elegantly at the midfield stripe. Tried to play it off of Ramos. Ball stayed in, though. Drops it back for Beauchamp. Her ball down the left wing will stay in play. Claimed there, though, by Curran. Forward now for Jaime. Tries to push it into space. Scannell. Great return ball for Jaime in close quarters. And she's got Hannah Lewis on the overlap. Needs to feed her. Here comes the ball out wide to Hannah on the left corner of the box. And here returns Savannah Dingman, and she's able to take the ball away. But her clearance is only as far as Hannah Masleski near the top of the 18. Here comes Masleski's shot, and it just barely won't sink under the post.
Oh, man.
A heck of an idea from Hannah Masleski.
I thought that was in.
Yeah, just a really great job. You see a lot of those goals in general just coming off of the after effect of what looked like a dangerous play. You get that first clearance, everybody relaxes for a moment, and next thing you know, you strike like that. Substitution for DVC. Scannell comes out. Hannah Kidson getting her first action, so she makes her debut today in green and white. Additionally, Maddie Humadon back in the game for Jamila Alani. Long ball headed forward by Yasmin Jaime as we're in the final 20 minutes of today's encounter. Hannah Lewis chests this one down. Plays this forward for Carla Ramos, who is unfortunately in an offside position, according to our far side assistant referee. So Souza preparing to take this. Anything you would recommend if you were the one coaching right now to try to break this down? For us to break
the tie?
Yeah. Beyond just get it in the back of the net, please.
Yeah.
So what would you say seems to be working at this point?
When they started the first half and they were connecting passes and controlling the game, that's when they're best off. They're not as good right now as when they're just sending the balls forward. We don't have that speed with, is it Haley? Haley and right. Julia up front. So that's when you need to be careful. Sending the balls is just going to wear them out.
So speaking of getting worn out, I believe that's Weinstein over there getting whipped to ground as Monica Amezquita Went off to the races on the left side, but dribbled just a little too far. Weinstein got in between, got shoved to ground. So 8-5 the count on fouls. 6-4 in favor of DVC shots on goal. 8-7 shots in general. 4-2 the advantage on corners. The only place the Vikings don't have the advantage, unfortunately, just as was the case 6 days ago, is on the scoreboard. But they're looking for it now. Carla Ramos looked to have absorbed a foul, and indeed, here comes the whistle on the advantage played. Looked like Ramos might manage to dance through the first foul, but had the ball taken away. It's called back. Foul number 6 today on Las Positas. Mazleski to take it about 30, maybe 35 yards from the goal. Very central. 4 DVC Vikings in a line at the top of the 18. Lewis, Ramos, Kidson, and Curran. Mazleski was about ready to run up to it. The referee wants her to wait just a moment, perhaps to put the wall in place. 2 in the wall for LPC. Here comes Mazleski, ball into the 18. Takes one big hop. Ooh, boy. Punched away. It's going to go down as a shot on goal, and another save for Eli Nunez. That ball took a wicked hop on the turf. There's a decent little bit of space between Nunez's head and the top of the goal. Corner kick number 5 for the Vikings. Played short to Curran. Back now to Ramos. Ramos defending it with her back toward goal. Dances to the right, then to the left. Now crosses the ball in. Headed clear by Jessica Morales. Back to Hannah. She's going to try another long shot, and this time, again, held just barely by Nunez. Hannah Mazleski certainly...
hungry.
Absolutely. We were expecting perhaps Hannah Harris. She was ineligible today, but of all the players I saw after the Tahoe game, she looked like smoke was going to come out of her ears. Was hoping to get to see her out here, but it's actually one of DVC's other herd of Hannahs. Right now, seemingly with the most verve to try to get DVC that game winner. 16 minutes to try to find it. Las Positas earning a throw-in on the near sideline, about 20 yards from goal. It's going to be Loyola to take it. They have Haley Mann and Umadon out there right now, responsible for 4 of the Hawk goals so far this season. Ball thrown in long from the right sidelines, cleared away by Lozano. Kidson working on Dingman. Ball is out off of Hannah Kidson. Quick whistle from the referee was to operate a substitution. Alani in, Loyola out for DVC, Lewis out, and Weinstein out. Lozano and Coppa back in. The goal scorer today off the assist from Julia Curran. Hannah Mazleski runs over here to the sideline, gets herself a new headband from Kristen Cunningham because, when you play like Hannah does, they tend to break. Ball in control for a moment for LPC, but Morales is now stuck in a battle with Dom Calloway. Ball out the back, a Viking goal kick as we approach the final quarter of an hour. 1-1 your scoreline. Coppa in the 51st. We think Loyola in the 53rd. Long ball from McLaughlin, claimed here at the near sideline for a moment, but the ball forward is intercepted by Yasmin Jaime. She tries to find Kidson, and Dingman intercepts that. Controlled in the middle of the midfield now by Jamalani. Brings the ball forward, looking over the right shoulder of Daisy Lozano to try to find Haley Mann. Lozano does well there, touches it off of Mann, clears it towards the top of the 18. Great first touch, while nearly falling to ground by Hannah Mazleski to get that away from the onrushing attacker. Ball forward now by Coppa for Kidson, and she's going to spray this deep looking for Yasmin Jaime. She's onside. Excuse me, Carla Ramos. Ramos loads up the left foot, just off target to the right. We're going to have to guess for a little bit at the time. We have a scoreboard malfunction. That's shut off, but we're about a quarter of an hour from the end of today's match. The goal kick falls to Curran at the far sideline. She plays that off of Carlton. And another Viking throw to come. So here comes that throw. Punched away right now by Ooh, Callaway coming up and going body on body against the number 21, who I lamentably do not seem to have on my roster. I don't know who that is. I'm just gonna make a guess. I'm gonna say Kalia Morales. Why not? It's the last respite for a poor commentator. Throw in toward Alani. Pressure coming from Curran. The ball drifts forward, and Coppa able to claim it. Works it centrally now for Carla Ramos. Looking for an overlap. She had Lozano. She elects instead to go to JC. Top of the 18. Can JC get back onto it from in front of Carlton? Not quite. Ramos trying to drift back onto it. And a foul whistled in favor of DVC. Nearly even on fouls now. 8-7. Still Vikings with more, but starting to look a little bit more even. Clock is back on. We are in minute number 78. Vikings about to take a free kick. Now, we know you played a little bit of midfield. Were you ever a set-piece specialist?
I know. I know. I prefer to try to get my head on the ball.
Well, we got a few of those in there right now. Kidson, Coppa, Mazleski, Jaime. Ball is positioned maybe 3 or 4 yards shy of the edge of the 18-yard box. Out wide right. Ramos with the left foot. Here comes Carla. Touched over the goal by Ali Nunez. And here comes corner kick number 6. DVC looking for a late game winner here. It will be Coppa. A brief moment to figure out which side we're going to go to, as that was almost dead center. Do they get the choice if it's right in the middle?
You know, I don't know.
Well, either way, it's going to be Coppa from the left side. In swinger to come. Kidson and Jaime inside the 6. Here comes the ball in towards the penalty spot. Looked like maybe a hand again. Comes back to Coppa. She tries to cross it in, gets a little bit under it. Pops up near the top of the 18-yard box. Cleared away now by LPC. Callaway gets back on it. Pushes this one forward. Can JC get onto it? She does in the 18-yard box. JC cuts it onto her left. Fires, doesn't get all of it. Still there. Almost Ramos getting back onto that ball. And finally, Alani clears it away. Comes loose again to Jaime after the initial clearance. Forward again for JC. Tries to work her way through Beauchamp. Beauchamp gets onto it. Clearance popped up by Ramos. And it's going to remain in play for Ali Nunez to get onto. .13 shots on goal, or excuse me, 13 shots today for the Vikings. That's a 10th on frame. Ball popping loose in the center of the three-quarter zone for DVC. Kidson and Ramos not able to get to it first. Alani puts it out wide to the left for Carlton. Centrally Umadon. JC takes it away, plays it all the way back to Dom Callaway. Excuse me, Dave Dargan first. Now it's in the possession of Dom. She's got Coppa with a little space. Puts this centrally now for Jaime, a little bit long for her. Alani gets a touch to it, but it's going to fall for Hannah Mazleski. And here she goes into turbo in the center, drifting out wide right. Gets it to JC. Her cross takes a deflection. And not quite another corner. Won't quite carry out. Throw in to come. Substitution for DVC. Looks like Dre Weinstein's going to come back in here. We are 10 minutes and a handful of seconds from the close. Looks like Ramos potentially coming out for Weinstein. Also Loyola about to re-enter, as well as Amezquita, the mysterious number 21, and Alani out for the Las Positas Hawks. Throw in for the Vikings to come from the far sideline in just a moment. Here comes that throw, worked toward Kidson. She tries to push it right back to Weinstein, but with a little bit too much pace. Seguir also getting ready to re-enter the game here for the final few moments. Nearly a lazy ball there in the defense. I thought for a second Kidson was going to get onto that. Depth perception playing havoc with me right now. The ball forward for Las Positas, trying to find Cuellar. Absorbs a little nudge from Jaime. Referee plays advantage. Sprayed out wide to the left side. Here comes the cross in for Las Positas, and out comes Katie McLaughlin. No problem. The Vikings look to build one more time. Said for a second straight game, they have managed to play the majority of the game down in the attacking end. Kidson tries to drop that ball back for Mazleski. An LPC player is first to it, but a great first touch by Dargan to put into space for Daisy. Daisy trying to work her way through Dingman, and Savannah, it's got to be said, has had a pretty nice game. Dej steps back up to try to take it off of her, but it falls to Yumadan. Laid back now for Quellar. Here to the near sideline right in front of us for the number 8, Man. In comes Lozano on a slide. Ball stays, though, for Dingman. Played again for Man. Tries to center it up again for Dingman, this time a little loose. Mazleski comes up and pushes the ball forward. And the Vikings have a 3-on-3 going. Here comes Lozano down the left. Plays it into space for Curran. Curran, good first touch. Gets herself into space and unfortunately slices the shot. Frustrated look from JC. Needs to work a little bit on that body language to try to press on forward. It is a throw-in. The Vikings a chance. Oh, is it? Did that really actually go out the back?
Yes, I didn't think so.
That thing was slicing so badly, I assumed it was going to go out the side and that we'd get a chance to try to pressure a throw-in. Never mind. 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Kidson out of the game now. Haley Segir up top with Curran. The Vikings back into their starting lineup with the lone substitution of Ramos in place of Jaime. Comes the ball forward, headed by Lozano. Popped up in the air by Ireli Loyola. She gets the ball in the direction of Amezquita. Oh, what a turn by Dre Weinstein. And she's going to try to feed Haley through the right side channel. And battling with the number 4, Beauchamp, Haley Segir records DVC's 9th foul. Played short over to the left side now for Carleton. Steps in, uses her right to cross the ball in. Yumadan tries the continuation, comes into the top of the 18-yard box where Dargan's able to clear. Coming up to try to get to it is Curran. Loyola will beat her to it. Brought forward now for Haley Mann. She'll drop that for Dingman. Her ball centrally is easy prey here for Hannah Mazleski, and a iffy handball whistled against Carla Ramos. But it will be a free kick. The Vikings making sure they keep a look at the ball. Coach Mullins screaming out the indications to them. Likely that we will finish the game like this unless Yazzie returns with the personnel out there right now. It's a free kick coming up from about probably 40 yards. Number 5, Maddie Yumadan, returning leading scorer for Las Positas to put this in. 3-woman wall for DVC, composed of Ramos, Mazleski, and Lozano. Here comes the right-footed ball in from Yumadan. She is going to spray this all the way to the left side. I don't know if that was a scheme or a mistake. Comes to Carleton. She's near the corner flag. Plays that one off of, I think, Weinstein, and has earned LPC a throw-in with 6 minutes to go. Oh, never mind. Actually, apparently a DVC throw-in. My mistake. So Weinstein, the throw-in, headed forward by LPC. They try to get onto the ball. Mazleski, as always, in the midst of it and making things very challenging. Sprayed out wide to the right, too far wide for Haley Mann. It's going to go out for a Viking throw here on the near sideline now. I prefer they stay on this end. A lot easier for me to spot what's going on. Ball thrown in here for LPC down near the corner. 5 minutes and change to go. Battle springing up here between Ramos, Lozano, Mann, and Jessica Morales. Won by LPC. They earned the throw-in. And it will be Loyola to take it. And certainly things have slowed down a bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's getting a little tired.
Throw-in is reflected by DVC. Loyola's header is going to fall to Megan Coppa, and she tries to play this into space for JC to run onto it. Who's going to get there first? It just does get across the edge of the 18 to Ali Nunez. Well protected by the captain, Maddie Sousa. Like you said, that combination play has really been the key to the Viking success today. And here comes a ball forward looking for Jessica Morales. Look out. She's gotten off the hip of Caitlin Cunningham, but pulls her shot wide left. Thank heavens, had flashbacks to the goal against Tahoe for a moment there. It'll be McLaughlin to punch this one deep for DVC. Down the right sideline, Coppa let that run. Taken by LPC, pushed forward towards the left portion of their attack. Taken away, though, by Mazleski. Punched forward by Dargan. Not quite able to hold on to it, though. Taken away for a moment there by Daisy Lozano, and a foul whistled against LPC. So a Viking free kick to come now. 9-8, that count on fouls. Jaime at the midfield stripe, ready to come in for the final 3 minutes and 40 seconds once the next opportunity arrives. An LPC player also stationed there awaiting her insertion into the game. Free kick for Dom Calloway, about 20 yards or so behind the center stripe. Her ball takes one hop, almost got to Ramos, sprays over to the left side. Lozano not quite able to beat Dingman to it. Pops up in the air. Morales trying to defend it. She's working against Calloway. Calloway initially the better for it. Morales drops the ball back, and it's into the path of Daisy Lozano. Tries to touch it through Dingman. Here comes the ball forward by Ramos, looking for Seguir. Seguir able to stay on it. Plays it for Daisy. Flock of Vikings coming over here on the left side. Daisy not quite able to get it through Sousa. Ball forward, Morales and Mazleski working on it. Mazleski able to get onto it for a second. Loyola now comes up and cranks the ball deep. Chested down by Cailin Cunningham. Sprayed out to the right side. That's where Weinstein's coming. Dre touches it through a defender. Now plays it into space looking for Curran. Cleared away by LPC, and they've got a chance to counterattack if they want. Here's Amezquita working her way down the far sideline against Mazleski. Plays it into space. Calloway able to shield off the arrival of the attacker. Cunningham clears. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Loyola on the ball. Laid into the center circle now for Cuellar. Back for Sousa. Seguir puts on a little pressure. Long ball. Chested down by Dom Calloway. Cannot quite get to that one. Lozano. The sliding attempt does not get the ball back for her. Cuellar on it about 35 yards from goal. Sprays it to the left side corner of the box. Taken away by DVC. Looked like Weinstein getting that. Coppa quickly ahead looking for Seguir. Tried to chest that down. Couldn't quite get enough control, but it's going to be sprayed out to the sideline. Doesn't quite go out of play in a friendly manner for DVC. We're inside the final 2 minutes. Las Positas back in control. Cailin Cunningham clears it away. Amezquita back on it. DVC need to get this ball. Lazy ball in the middle, and Ramos nearly takes it away from Loyola. It does fall kindly for Las Positas, though. Back to Cuellar. She'll go into her defense. Punched long. Knocked down there by Haley Mann, and now trying to work around Dargan is Dingman. No foul given. Dargan's ball over the top. Stays in play. Curves right here over the sideline, and here comes Julia Curran. She's got Haley Seguir running onto it. This ball, will it curl and stay in play? Not quite. Substitutions to come in here for the final few moments. We'll see how much stoppage time is given, but we are in the 90th minute right now. Hannah Mazleski exits. Yasmin Jaime in. She and Ramos looking to press forward. Of course, the difficult thing here, you got to decide. Do you try to protect the draw or do you go for the win?
Go for the win.
Not even a question for Megan Elms. No surprise. Long drive from Nunez. Headed forward by Cunningham, and a foul given. Apparently a foul given against Cailin Cunningham. That is the 10th whistled against DVC. It's a very soft whistle. For a second, I thought it was inadvertent. And so free kick from just behind the midfield stripe for Maddie Sousa. This ball falling towards the 18-yard box, headed away by Yasmin Jaime. Calloway also in the vicinity. Recovered by Alani. She tries to work her way towards the byline, looking for a cross on her left boot. Also now trying to play it off of a DVC player and earn a corner kick. Can't. Here comes the cross, looping in towards the 8-yard box. Look out here. Haley Mann gets onto it. She fires, and McLaughlin is going to come out and grab it. And that apparently is going to do it for today. So goals from Coppa and we believe Ireli Loyola within about 2 minutes of one another give us a 1-1 draw. Megan, any final comments? What did you think of what you saw today from the Lady Vikings?
I think they had a good start. You know, great thing about preseason is you learn what you need to work on, and I think they still need to work on some fitness and keeping their composure through the 90 minutes. Keep that passing game up, and I think they would have had a better result.
Well, we'll hope for better coming up soon. The Vikings will be in action next week on the road. 2 games against Ohlone and Cabrillo before coming back here to take on Fresno. That'll be September 15th. We encourage you to come on back. We will go back to the studio for highlights and final comments. But from Vikings Field, your final score, DVC 1, Las Positas 1.
Thanks for tuning in to Vikings Soccer Rewind, everybody. We'll be back next Friday with the very next game for that 2015 squad, as the Vikes look to finally get that first victory during a heart-poundingly tense affair in Fremont against Ohlone College. And we find out what the Cunningham sisters, Caitlin and Kristen, and goalkeeper Sammy Hebbing have been up to these last few years. Until then, this is Joe Hickey wishing you sweet, nostalgic dreams of green. See you next time.